Hi, I'm David Farmer and welcome to Atlantis CSP, or Atlantis Concentrated Solar Power. To get straight to the point, Atlantis CSP will be creating concentrated solar power plants. These plants can produce clean electricity, fresh water, and actually even terraform the land around the plants to be suitable for agriculture or animal grazing. These plants can also produce brine, salt, hydrogen and oxygen, depending on the resources available and the location and the local needs. Some people may be thinking, what is concentrated solar power? I'm not going to get too technical in this video, but we are going to cover some of the basics so you get a general idea. And then you can have a look online, look at our website, read some ideas, get a more in-depth view about how they work. So what I'm going to do now, let's show you some footage and some graphics on concentrated solar power plants, and you can actually see ones that are in operation now.
Okay, take the natural heat from the sun, reflect it against a mirror, focus all of that heat on one area, send it through a power system, and you've got a renewable way of making electricity. It's called concentrating solar power, or CSP. Now, there are many types of CSP technologies: towers, dishes, linear mirrors, and troughs.
So, as you can see, a very simple process of capturing the energy from the sun, storing that energy, and then releasing it as electricity as and when needed. Now, the majority of concentrated solar power plants around the world focus on electricity production because that is their primary design. However, due to the shortages of water that we're seeing, that's been predicted for many years, and we're now seeing in Cape Town, and I'm sure we'll see shortly in other parts of the world, Atlantis CSP thinks it's essential to build in a water purifying system into this water steam process. This will allow us to produce huge volumes of water as well as clean electricity, and this has no negative effect on the energy production of the plant. Now, with these technologies, these have all been like tried and tested technologies. We're not trying to build anything that's not achievable. What Atlantis CSP is trying to do is to create new, innovative, efficient, and most importantly, cost-effective plants. With the type of solar energy plants we're trying to produce, these are the best and most viable solution to create stable long-term energy. Their source of power is limitless. The energy can be stored and released as and when needed, and with new smart innovations we can actually store the energy or store the electricity and transport it to other parts of the world where it's actually needed. So many people may ask, are these plants needed, or aren't we already doing this? There are many good reasons why we need these concentrated solar power plants. We have the huge and continuing problem of pollution, and then the other problem, we have the current fuels we're using are a limited resource and they're going to run out and they need to be replaced. So both of those problems are right here and now, and we have to deal with them. We've known about these problems for the past 50 years or more. And even with all of that time, in the EU and the US, we've only managed to move 5.5% of all our energy production into clean energy. The majority is still produced from fossil fuels. The US Energy Information Association estimates that by 2014, 77% of the total world's energy production will still come from fossil fuels. In fact, fossil fuel use will actually expand to keep up with energy demands instead of it being replaced by new sources. This volume will cause a huge amount of pollution, a huge amount of emissions, even more than we're doing now. We actually got together with different people from different countries, showed them lots of facts on their country's energy production, their country's clean energy plans, and saw what they had to say.
Hi, my name is Andrea. I'm from Monterrey, Mexico.
Hi, my name is Emily and I'm from Britain, a small town in Britain.
Hello, my name is Okado. I'm from Chicago in the United States of America.
Hi, I'm Eugenie.
I am Estelle and we are from Paris in France. Well, actually, Mexico is not well educated about solar energy and concentrated solar power. Actually, the 90% of our energy we use it in burning coal and fuels. Mexico is a large producer of petroleum. It has a lot of petroleum, so we are never educated about that, and the government is not highly interested in investing in solar energy right now.
Whilst I think that Britain is doing a good job in terms of meeting the targets it has set, when you think about it, the targets that we've set in order to reduce our emissions aren't really as ambitious as we'd like to think.
And I believe the US is just doing a horrible job when it comes to renewable energy, when it comes to the burning of fossil fuels, and instead of being the world leader when it comes to solar energy or wind energy and just renewable energy in general, I think we've now become probably the world's laughingstock.
About pollution, that's something that touches us, that we can see and feel every day. More in a big city like Paris or here in Madrid, because there is everywhere in the street.
With all the effect on us and on the people.
These problems are caused by all of our country's energy production methods, and it's something that needs to be changed in the next few years, not in 20 years or barely touched on 20 years or more from now. Atlantis concentrated solar power plants provide a viable and stable method and limitless method of clean energy production and can replace current outdated and harmful systems. Every day, enough energy reaches the Earth from the Sun to power the entire world for an entire year. So there's plenty of energy to use. But not all of the energy needs to be produced from this one method. We can work in tandem with hydroelectric, geothermal, wind, tidal, all of the real clean energies to provide 100% of the world's energy needs across the globe. So, to achieve this, our first aim will be to secure adequate locations in countries with high solar irradiation levels. There are a number of viable countries around the world. You have Australia, South Africa, Spain, Mexico, the US, all with excellent areas that also require, of course, electricity and fresh water. But they also have the space, the resources, and the sun to power the concentrated solar plants. Stage 1 of the project will be asking the crowdfunding community and investors to help us with the organising and planning of these plants, discussing with local authorities and government bodies for permissions, the feed-in, the storage requirements and tariffs, and also specific designing of each plant based on its production needs. Stage 2, which will be further down the line, we will then be looking for investors, grants, government backing to purchase and secure the land required and get the permission rights for that particular land. And we may come back to the crowdfunding community if you wish to support this as well. Stage 3 will be the final and largest stage, where we will be acquiring the financing for the equipment and the final build of each of the plants. So with the right planning and organisation and the latest innovations, Atlantis CSP will be able to construct multiple plants in a variety of countries around the world, sourcing or producing the equipment required for these plants, and hopefully reducing the cost of each and every plant build by 30 to 40% of its current cost. Then for future plants, we hope to reduce it again down to 50 or 60% of the current cost levels, which will make these plants highly viable, highly cost effective. This will make the concentrated solar plants not only cost effective, but one of the most stable and hopefully rapidly expanding energy sources across the globe. Thank you for your time. I hope you can support this project. I hope you can get involved, and I hope help us get this started and moving as quickly as possible.